It's going. It's live.
Good evening and welcome to this evening's meeting of the Western County Council Planning and Highways Committee. This evening being Tuesday, the 3rd of June 2025, and this meeting has been recorded for publication on the Western Town Council YouTube channel. So turning to the agenda, firstly, agenda item 1, apologies.
A couple tonight, Chairman, Councillors Jay Lunn, Tom McCann and Justin Pemberton. However, substitute Petra Pemberton. That's it.
Thank you. So declarations of interest. So I think we can take it as a rule of exercise to some extent. But so that is have to be discussions and not any other declarations. So to move on to the next last meeting, which are last 3 pages long, any comment on those minutes? No, thank you. So I'll propose from Trinidad that we confirm as accurate those minutes. We'll have a second. Thank you, Councillor Lunn. Those in favour? Thank you very much. So, as we have a member of the public who would like to speak on the local plan review, we move agenda item 6 to the next item that we consider. Do I have a second for that? John, that's the boy, sorry. Thank you, and therefore I'd like to we'll go to the other business first before we speak. So, as you'll see there, the council was took the lead in obtaining legal advice on the merits of the potential change to the adoption of the local plan review, and before us the inspector's report, which goes to number of pages. So I think given that the reason that we on this matter was that we felt that we didn't have the expertise to reach a conclusion ourselves. A detailed discussion of the reasoning. And we have any comments or which is I appreciate it's not very well Town Council and Regional Council also involved in developing the questions, because in my view, for the reasons set out, I'm not considering all grounds for challenging the adoption of the West Berkshire plan. If that is the decision taken by the Council on the 10th of June, the challenge to the prospects of success will be lower. And then goes on to comment on different people choose to proceed. That is the main conclusion of that advice, which is on the Town Council's website as well as the documents to its meeting. If anybody agrees, looking at this recording, we should to access it. So any comments, questions before we proceed to at the moment, and we've received it, considering anyone wish to comment on consideration of it. Obviously, that will be a factor in particularly the West Berkshire Council's protection as we make a decision next week. I'm wishing the best of luck in that matter.
Yeah.
So, that I think concludes agenda item 6. So under 6B, one of the matters in the report, if you report, one of the issues that we raised in the final round of the consultation, which was the consultation on the main application, was the status of the new village park, and we made representations on that. While he did not amend the local plan, he made some comments in his report supportive of that being previously developed land, which had potentially talk about this. But he didn't actually give any definitive opinion on that should be recorded in the local plan itself. So this evening we previously had a presentation by Anthony Dutcher, who is the on behalf of the owners of that land, which of course is redundant in its current usage. And following that advice from the inspector, he's come back to give us an update. So before he does, I'd like to propose from the chair that we invite members of the public to speak at this meeting. We'll have a second for that. And the executive will be all in favour of that. And then I'd like to move to come forward and we have a presentation here. To give us an update on that. Thank you.
Thank you to the committee members here. We met on December 10th, and everyone in that plot of land has had over time with the West Berkshire plan and so on. And Simon has invited me to give an update to this meeting of where we're at. There's a lot of things that have happened with regards to the local plan, with inspectors report and so on. So we're moving to update and see whether I can get any suggestions, ideas, advice on progress. Just to recap, at the meeting on the 10th, West Berkshire really refused to register the site on the Brownfield register. They accept that it's Brownfield land, but they do not want to put it on two. And their rationale was that there's a gap policy in place between that. And so related to that, the settlement boundary actually goes a long way away. So one side of lower way, residential housing everywhere, on the opposite side, not so. And the second reason was that 75% of that land is not so they were arguing that West Berkshire saying that the plot has some of the land which is in plot 73. However, 75% isn't.
Plot 73 is the highest risk of flooding. If you're not familiar with it.
The land has been unused for 5 years. Nobody's interested to reuse the two properties that are there as a residential property, cottage, which used to be 3 properties in the past. And then there's the main borough Temple Borough High, which is a 4-story building. Really. So it's unused 5 years. It's attracting crime. I showed you pictures of some of the just before you go on, sorry. The committee here suggested that the site should be included in the Brownfield register in cost 1 and 2. So the criteria for compliance is a previously I thought that Brownfield land is the same as the registered on Brownfield register. There are 2 separate things. They can exist in parallel. That's where West Berkshire are. They accept this Brownfield land, but they feel that they can't put it on the register. And because of the size of the land, it would automatically be granted registration on part 2 of the Brownfield register because it's more than quarter of a hectare, but actually this is 1.7. So the committee suggested that if we had it registered on part 1 and 2, it would attain permission in principle, and therefore developers would be interested. I'm not a developer, I'm just the owner of the land. My objective is to be able to sell it for the right purpose, whatever that may be. So until now, every developer is looking at, West Berkshire got reasons but effectively creating values. The committee here unanimously supported this side of Brownfield, and I really thankful for that, and I saw the representation. And I wanted to formally today just come back and say thank you. I actually individually thank the committee after that meeting. Really, I wanted to come back and say in 6 months, that's the first time I've seen common sense prevail and support from this committee. So thank you very much to everybody. We move on to the next one. What's been happening over the last 6 months? Security has become an issue. We've created more security with taller fencing around the site. Really, it's not stopped them. The last 10 days, it's continuously being demolished. The intruders are now getting braver by even signing off their names. And yet the police cannot prosecute, right? But this will go to the next slide. So in the middle of the outline process, we've had the main modifications, the consultation exercise, and so on. And again, not only did I make representations at that stage, which was the right time to do it, TTC, Pattern Town Council also did, so I'm really grateful for that. That did happen, and then the next stage, the independent inspector. This is the report where it gets specific mention. Technically, I've talked about this gap policy, and the highlighted 2 sentences are the key points here. The designated gaps include some developed sites already, and some of these are in use, and there are disused brownfield land. There is disused brownfield land, including the leisure park. Despite that, they brownfield. The event goes on to say, furthermore, development is not ruled out on such sites within the gap, provided that it meets the requirements of the policy. So we see that as being quite supportive. Eventually, development should not be received on that particular land, and specifically mentioning the leisure park. So I've sent this to West Parks Planning, as well as these things to also. I've had a verbal conversation today, and she also brought in one of the planning policy team, and that is the situation now. They feel that really isn't changing their position, right? So they feel that it's still outside of settlement boundary. That concept, although they accept that it's used to develop, they accept that it's used, they accept it's an eyesore, it's very important. But they feel they can say, and they might use it as we go on to the next slide, please. So this thing with permission in principle, which was the key idea, is, if it was registered on parts 1 and 2 of the backfill register, then it would automatically obtain permission in principle, which allows then the developer to put in technical, say, here's something that is a scheme that could work. So it's not really giving planning consent, it's not really consultation, it's just a process where there is a bit of ground on the register that gets permission in principle, which then allows the developer to invest money in creating. And the criteria for PIP is really easy. Is it an area of at least 0.25 hectares? Well, it's 1.7. And is it suitable? It already has residential on it, so clearly it is suitable. Is it available? Absolutely. I'm saying it's available. And residential development on the land is achievable. Well, we have a lot of interest, but clearly it just gets a sort of block out, right? So we feel we're in this kind of limbo at this stage, and we've been in limbo for 5 years. It's actually been empty and vacant in this use since 2020, since COVID. That's when that last year just failed. So my final slide, please, James. Really, last time we had a support grant here, I will be very best if you would continue to support that. If you are able to report that in the minutes, that would really help because it was reported last time. Firstly, I don't know if you want to cross that. And secondly, is there any advice? I feel like I'm down, you know, how do we get up to the commercial principle? But now I've had a definitive, you know, from the needs and one of the planning policy team. So I kind of don't know how to progress.
So just one additional point, if you recall at the last meeting, I think we discussed an update to the implementation of risk assessment for Henwick Park, which resulted in the that site having possibly been until the road. So, as of interest, I looked at this site underneath the Grant Agency, and it has reduced the area, the proportion of the site that is subject to flooders to 3. Effectively, all of the existing building area is outside of the flood zone 2 and 3, so it's increased.
But you know, amount of land is one which minimal risk, basically no risk, and suitable for. So I'm pleased to hear that, and I'm pleased to have seen that since. So, however, I don't know how else to do that. So any suggestion?
The reason it wasn't meeting last time was it was an informal opinion rather than formal motion. I feel that because this is not a specific item on the agenda for this meeting, we would do this meeting do the same. I think we will discuss offline about how to progress it and progress. Possibly bring forward a formal motion to a future meeting, because a motion is need to have an action to be worthwhile, and then we would have an action which we would then follow up. But I think that requires a formal motion with a specific wording on the agenda of the meeting. If people agree to that, I would rather not draft a motion on the fly. Are there any comments about the update or the principle? This site being perhaps the word is redeveloped. Yeah. It is the over rigorous application of policy over value, I think, is that's what the problem is. There may be a question of precedent. To some extent, the inspector's report to sort of reduce that risk and also given the circumstances to this site, so
It's worth it to come in full council. So
given that this is talk to other councillors, but all the Berkshire councillors on the committee have other commitments to the matter. So we will be discussing with them. We'll discuss the best way to bring it forward in a future meeting. The sample here and possibly discuss offline this. Because also it's worth reading bosses. What is the actual basis for the refusal? So I just looking around the meeting, I get the feeling, and probably I didn't talk things about how it's recorded, but I get the feeling that there is continued support for the development of this. We will discuss further how to progress that in a more formal way for the future meeting.
Yes. If it is a July
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we move on,
Nothing to note. Okay, no.
yeah, thank you. So, we'll go back to agenda item 4, planning application.
Yeah, we just have to consider this evening. Firstly is application for 47 Hennick Lane, Thatcham, single-storey rear extension and re-roofing of the garage. This is the location plan. And these are the proposed plans. So it's quite a substantial. So if you look to the right, there's the floor plan.
So the black is the dark is the existing.
Existing and the red.
The front is to the left of that door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the original? And this is the existing plan, which you can sort of decipher from the first slide. It was added tonight just for pure size of it.
You got a street view.
I can get that up for you. Yeah, it's so it's this one here.
That's what's the road.
It's this one.
Yeah.
Sorry, next to the substation.
Yeah.
You can't really see past the hedge,
Yeah.
but
So you've got the house, Westwood Road on the left-hand side of the street, close to that. The other property on the other side is. Sorry, you could just. Yeah, because the house next door, yeah, you can see that's got an extension. Yeah. So it's not going to be setting a precedent. It's not already there. So do we have any further comments on this application? So looking more broadly along the road, there's a variety of different housing styles. Further down, there is more than two-story houses. Some of which are. I think the second line is all along the road is all this part of the road is all set back. Could we just see the plan?
of course, yeah. So that's that.
Oh, the street. Because I mean, from the front, yeah, it's not going to be changing from what we see at the front. It's just the plan.
Yeah, it was added it was a rear extension, but it's just got the size of it, just for the neighbours.
No objections.
There's no objection received.
Looking at the actions of the council,
Moving on to plan number 2. This is 17 Berries Bank Road. This is a first floor extension of a bungalow, including a 2-story front extension. So these are the proposed elevations. Again, this was added just for the size and it's a front extension. However, you cannot access the road on Google Maps as it's down the track. So I'll just give you the floor. This is the floor plan. There's quite a lot of plans in this one. I'll give you a location plan so you get an idea of where it is. So this is the Barry's Bank Road here, and it sort of snakes down the track to the right hand side, so it's sort of well off the main road. However, it's quite a substantial. We got roof plan section. What else have we got? That will be this proposal that's finished construction.
Looking at the shape of number 72, that looks very likely to be an extension other than the hotel design. So of course this is
That
in
is right.
proximity to the common, but I'm pretty sure it'll be outside the area of the common itself. And the impact on the common will probably be certainly a visual impact, isn't it? We can't see it from the road, so the visual impact on the common estate.
Yeah, and there's been no objections received from.
So I've got to declare an interest given the proximity of the common to our council's representative of the commission.
Okay.
But I don't see that as a being concerned with this application. But I didn't know what to ask if someone doesn't make that objection.
I would like to propose that we make no objection.
So I have a second for this. Thank you, Councillor Pemberton. So, with that, all those in favour of making no objection tonight, we'll vote on that. Thank you very much. That is also carried unanimously. And we have three, which we plan to consider. I think those what I recall is just a string of applications relating to Highfield.
Yeah, this is the second one.
So this is actually
In succession.
This is an application determining approval is needed. Approval is not needed, then a very flat application
Is needed. Can we consider it?
That is a purely legal question to West Berkshire Council.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're going to move on to the agenda item 4.
Quite a few decisions have come through this month. I'll start at the top. There's a couple to note that we've discussed previously at PMH. There's a couple of refusals. Westfield Crescent has been refused. We didn't have any objections subject to the parking and the sight lines. Change of material, overall the development would fail to demonstrate high quality design and would not respect or enhance the character of the area. That was 10 Westfield Crescent. Moving down, a couple of approvals, but 55 Chapel Street was one that we've certainly discussed previously, and it has now been approved. Subject, there's many conditions within that application. Happy to circulate that if anyone wishes to see that.
You've got the reference number there, you can find it on the website.
Yeah. But we previously shared concerns of the access and the parking, didn't we? Moving down, another refusal, park retrospective for 10 Alexander Road. And then the Highfield Farm.
Previous appeal, I think I've seen that before, but anyway, that's interesting because that is one where it's a retrospective application where it is apparently it's already gone to appeal. So yes.
That was it.
Thank you very much.
That was it.
So, we have planning matters.
Yes, today West Berkshire Council has advised an appeal decision in relation to application for land opposite Crookham Park and south of White Lodge, Crookham Common. The appeal has been dismissed. The inspector concluded the proposal conflicts with the development plan and the material considerations do not indicate that the appeal should be decided other than in accordance with it. Consequently, the appeal should be dismissed. That should be within your packs.
Can I ask a question? Can they appeal again if it's been dismissed?
They can't appeal against.
Is there anything against that?
Yeah. They would have to make a new application which would be refused in order to have an appeal. The fresh appeal would take into account the views of the inspector of the previous appeal, I believe. And therefore, given that that is a fairly that dismissal appears to be a dismissal in principle rather than dismissal relating to the specifics of the application. It's only rather than the detailed design doesn't meet certain requirements. So it is unlikely that anything similar would be okay. So okay. Then the second one.
Furthermore, yeah, there's another notification from West Berks. An appeal has been made regarding application for 242 Benham Hill. The appeal would be based on written representations. As this appeal is proceeding under the Householder Appeal Service, there's no opportunity to submit comments. However, all representations made on the application have been forwarded to the Planning Inspectorate and the appellant for consideration. When we considered, we had no objections to this application back in March. No, but it's
Just to note there that also that for future reference, that if something goes to householder, if it's a permit for single house and goes to appeals under the householder scheme, then there's an opportunity to make further presentations. So we do make objections, and we need to make sure we put our grounds for objection in at the time because we can't supplement that at the appeal stage. Okay, so item C, just again, planning matters, application of the agenda.
nothing to add, Chairman.
So, agenda item 8 then.
No further.
Nothing heard back from West Berkshire Council.
Still haven't heard back from West Berkshire regarding the signage on the A4.
There was actually a signage, in fact, not in accordance with the traffic manual because this is where the development of the site has put speed restrictions. It's not as the entrance. Now things have got a bit complicated because there was traffic lights there for a period.
Yeah.
They've been removed last weekend. And the road is slightly restricted in width.
I think our original request went to the traffic and road safety team, however, it should have gone to the development team.
Within the area of those speed restriction signs, there are existing repeater signs showing no speed restriction.
They should have been bagged over.
They should be back there, which suggests to me that the signs were not put up by West Berkshire Council because they were spotted that. So anyway, we'll wait and see what happens about that. It's still a width restriction on the road. They're putting through barriers and no more traffic lights today. But there's something which might justify speed limit that barriers are removed there.
Yeah.
Interestingly, they put in a.
And this is between Colthrop roundabout,
Yeah.
heading at Midgham.
Just there. But interestingly, they put in a complete turning lane into that site.
Oh,
And
okay.
they now carry the site off. Okay. So I think that's that one. Any other traffic management issues?
Nothing has arisen since the agenda was published. Yes, I have emailed all members of the working party, and I've only received one response. Wow. And that is to reconvene and discuss the chairs, the neighbourhood development working groups. But yeah, so I'm still awaiting 3 responses. Nothing's been decided.
It's not just to go back briefly to the question related. Should the Scottish Council approve the plan next week, then the plan calls for a master plan to be developed within a year, with the involvement specifically of Thatcham Town Council and other councils and other community
Stakeholders, yeah.
So, should that plan be adopted, we can have a busy period of that year where we do maximum engagement with the developer to seek to achieve the best outcome for their site. So that's going to be hopefully there will also be. That's I think, and of course that will have an interaction with the work and neighbour development plan because
There'll be some crossover there, won't there? Yeah.
okay. So with that, Councillor Henderson.
I know we have no idea. Do we have a plan in place to progress this quickly? Do we already know what the plans are?
So roughly what's happening is that the developer stated that they had got an outline of the master plan. Well, of course, there is already a section strategic growth study that dating back 30 years. That's been already met, which was the original concept plan for a 2,500. I think certain things have changed there, and I need to go into more detail on that. In other words, before having so many houses, but I understand from the developers that they have already had a concept in mind for the layout. And they have at least two, there are four proponents of the site, so the council site is only four separate ownerships. And two of those plan to be the developers of those portions. Two of them plan to sell the land to other developers. And it was mentioned in the examination hearings that it was likely that the so I'm not quite sure how that works in practice, but that's what I know from also students need the county or the developers would be in a position to say do it correctly and so if they're having a formal discussion, they would have to be done privately because we can't formally prejudge a decision of the council. So with that, is there any further questions? Seeing none, so then the meeting closed. Thank you very much for your attendance and we'll wait for the